Hey everyone, and all be all here, and welcome back to the next season of Grand Arena. And it's going to be an exciting one, at least for me, because we require one extra ship in both defense and offense. So it's changing up the strategy quite a lot from what we've been used to seeing for the last 1 year. Quick look at my opponent before we move on to the matchup itself. My opponent has Ultimate Ray, and let's take a look at the ships as well. He's got both Malevolence and Grievous, both Malevolence and General Kenobi, so no surprise there. Usually tends to go offense heavy, and yep, that's essentially it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual zone itself. Now, there is a certain amount of change in strategy when it comes to board placement because of the additional requirement for the ships. So what is now happening mathematically is we have more points to gain by clearing the top zone as opposed to the bottom zone, where before I think the advantage was between 50 to 100 more that you could gain if you were able to stop your opponent from going down south and you could clear down south. Now by placing your strongest teams at the top and preventing that clear, you can get about 40 to 50 banners more. So mathematically, it makes sense for you to set your toughest teams up top, but strategically, it still might have some value to place your toughest character teams down south, just so that you can prevent your opponent from seeing what's at the back and getting a full view of what they need in their roster to take out your teams before committing to your toughest teams. And I've talked about this briefly in yesterday's Kyber Council episode, and Zadat has a good web video that he got out today as well to talk about the mathematical versus strategic aspect of it. So I'll leave a link down below for both of those videos, and you can go and check those out. But essentially, what I'm trying to say is that the 40 to 50 banner differential which you get is not enough value to prevent for me to place my toughest teams on top. So I still have kept my toughest teams down below. I've kept my Ray down below because I want my opponent to work to put in significant investment over here to reach the back and see what's there. The other point to consider is if you're placing your toughest teams on top, you're essentially trying to go for a stalemate game. You're going to assume that your opponent is not going to clear your GL and you're also not going to clear their GL, but you're going to do it more effective, clear the other battles more effectively. And I don't really like to play like that. I like to play to fully clear the board. And if you're setting your GL right at the top, you're already in some way acknowledging that there's potentially you will not be able to clear your opponent's board, and you're trying to win on efficiency. And that seems counterintuitive to me. I like to win, obviously, but I also like to full clear my opponent's boards, which is why I prefer the strategic aspect of keeping my toughest teams down below, keeping my opponent in suspense about what is there over here at the back, and hoping that he makes some mistakes in the front in order to reach the back. If he decides to ignore the bottom and only do the top, then all I need to do is clear the board, and then I win the match. The other consideration over here is ships. Now, obviously, over here, if you're keeping your toughest teams over here, that means you're blocking the ship zone. There's no surprise. You basically, it's a different zone altogether, so you know exactly what you're going to get when you go back there. But if you have weak ships and your opponent has got way stronger ships, then I could see that as a valid strategy where you want to prevent your opponent from getting to the ships and gain way more banners, and then you would in the ship zone. So that's probably the only other consideration where you would want to keep a tougher zone up top when you want to prevent your opponents from getting huge 65 plus banners on your cheese ships, and you want to do the same to your opponent and clear the top zone. So let's take a look at my defenses now. I've kept my Ray over here with L3 and Malak. That's the standard comp that I usually have. My opponent likes to take Jedi against Ray. He's kept his Watt on defense, so I don't think he's going to go with the Vader counter. Then I've kept my my DR team without Malak, which probably shouldn't be a problem for my opponent. At the top, I haven't kept easy teams over here as well. I've kept my CLS Chupio squad, which can get tricky. Very few teams can take that out effectively. So you'll have to make some significant investment on that. I've kept a Kira Nest squad. I've kept a Grievous squad with Newt in there. And hopefully if he expends Jedi against the Rey, then the Grievous squad might give him problem, I'm hoping. And then down south, behind the Rey, I've kept my Mon Mothma team. Cara Dune is still not up to speed yet, so that's why I have a fast Jin in there. And then I've kept Django under Newt, under Dooku, with some separatists, and I've kept my Wampa and Stormtrooper Han on defense as well. And on ships, now that we are required to keep 2 ships, I've decided to keep my negotiator with the Rex and Y-Wing, and only 2 reinforcements. If you notice, I've only kept Plo and Ahsoka, because those 2 are the most troublesome when they come out in reinforcements, and I want to force that tough confrontation right away. And I've kept my 5s on offense, and then I have an Akbar fleet with a pretty decked out Akbar, 178 speed. I have my 6E mods on my Akbar to make him go faster than the Vulture droids, and then I have a pretty decked out Biston and SRP as well. I've given full 6E mods to both of them to get them at exactly 152 speed, and 152 is the speed where they will go faster than the enemy negotiator and the enemy Jedi Knight Anakin. So that's the speed that you want to hit if you want to beat the maxed out negotiator and Anakin. So typical Rebel squad, I've kept my Malevolence on offense, but I think once I have my Radis 7-star, I'll probably start keeping my Malevolence on defense as well. Both the get ships on defense, keep Rebels and Radis on offense to take out whatever the enemy has. That's probably going to be my tentative plan. Okay, let's take a look at my opponent. My opponent has gone the mathematical route and kept his tougher teams on top. So he's kept his Rey on top, blocking the ship zone. Also, because my opponent has weaker ships than me, I think it makes sense for him to keep to block that zone. And then he has First Order and Bounty Hunters, which shouldn't be a problem. Down south, he has a Newt squad, and then he has a Grievous squad, which I probably might have to use my Night Sisters on. So let's go ahead and take care of this battle, and then we'll see what's at the back. So let's take in my Geos against the Newt squad. I think they should be able to get the job done. So he's going to go first, probably twice. Yep. And what? He's given the med pack. All right. So he's given the med pack and the tank deck. We need to get rid of Han as soon as we can. All right. Let's try attacking him. And we got rid of him. Now he hasn't given out the weapons tech yet, so let's just get rid of him before he has a chance to give the weapons tech out, because that that can give additional turn meter and make Django hit really hard. Let's do this. Take care of Dooku. There we go. I'm gonna probably go after Django. Let's heal up a little bit. Let's do this. Okay, Django is gone. I think this might be 60. No, Newt managed to get his AoE out, so that's 56. That's fine. All right, now let's take Night Sisters against the Grievous squad, because I want to save my Jedi for the top. I'm gonna go with 1000. It's a plain vanilla Grievous squad, so let's see whether we are able to get through it fine. I'm gonna go and do a mass assist on B1, get some stacks down. Let's actually stun Grievous. And let's go to town on B2. Daka was targeted. I don't like that. Let's spread some more plague around. I need to heal as soon as I can. Let's save that for now. Let's heal up. Excellent. Okay, now we can start calling assists from the grave and build Daka's health up. I'm going to save the revive. Let's land a stun. Let's call from the grave once again. Nobody's down yet. Alright, let's call now from the grave. Okay, so everyone is down and B1 is down. Now Magna is going to go down. Grievous is going to go again. Let's call everyone back. So my rule of thumb is I call everyone back when more than 2 Night Sisters are dead. If only one is dead, I prefer to use the basic. I'm going to do the AoE to get rid of B2. Ooh, that was a big hit on Daka, but luckily she was tanky enough to take that. Let's dispel this. Let's keep working on him. Let's do this. I'm going to try a mass assist on Grievous. Hopefully the plague and the stun will land. That did not land, but that's fine. Excellent. Now the stun is landed. So now because plague is there, it can't be cleansed. So we should be fine. And I think everyone is at full health and full health at least. So 54. I think maybe zombie was missing. Okay. So that battle can always get dicey, but as long as Newt or Watt is not in there, it should be fine. All right, so he's got Mon Mothma squad in there. We'll have to figure out what we want to take against that. And he's got Geo squad. So trying to bait out my Treya. But I really do want to use my Treya against this squad over here. So we'll have to attack this squad. Now that we know what's at the back, we'll have to attack this squad to clear the ray. And once we've cleared the ray, then we can focus on what we want to use against the Mon Mothma and the Geos. The Mon Mothma squad is without Biston Pow, so it's the non-dangerous version, but it is a double Zetard Mon Mothma. So we'll have to be careful against that. Yep. Yeah, we'll have to be careful against that. All right. I think one thing that I can probably go ahead and use is the Bounty Hunter squad. I wanted to use my own Bounty Hunters with Mando against this squad, given that it has Nest. And everyone is relatively slower. So let's go ahead and do that. So I recently got my Grief Karga to G12 and plus 300 speed, and I think Bosk is 304 and Karga is 300 and is exactly 300 speed. So with this combination, you can, if you effectively outspeed the enemy by more than, if the enemy team is less than 300 speed, with this configuration, I can get my contract out before the enemy team has had a chance to go. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get rid of Nest right away. Let's do that. Let's take that team in. Boss, Grief, Boba, Mando, Aura. Okay. Let's take it in and see what we're able to do. So let's do this first. And then I'm going to do a mass assist on maybe Boba. Call all Bounty Hunter allies to assist. And then let's do this. Land a stun on Boba, which was dodged. We are at 80%, so the enemy hasn't moved. We're at 80%, and now we have reached our contract. Let's get rid of Boba. Excellent. Staunt again, and now let's get rid of Nest. So before the enemy has even had a chance to move, I was able to get two of their main danger characters out. Now it's just a question of cleaning up. Let's see if we can't land a stun on Bosk. Did not. Let's do a mass assist again and try to get rid of this guy. Excellent. Let's land some ability block and call Aura to assist to land a stun. Stun did not land. I'm going to see if I can't land a stun on Dengar. Nope. Let's save the heal for now. Let's do that and get rid of him. Excellent. Now there's only Dengar left. Alright, I'm still going to save the heal. I think my Mando might have a thermal go off on him. 60. Okay, managed to kill. Alright, so pretty good control team, and the turn order is important. As long as your boss goes first and then a very fast Grief goes immediately after that, you can take care of any banner stripping team pretty comfortably. Alright, now for the rest of it, I'm probably going to wait a little bit to see if my opponent goes before I make a move on the Ray. I do have a plan for the Ray. It's going to be a little tricky, but I'm going to see if my opponent has had a chance to move before I attack that. See you in a bit. Okay, so we're back. 2 hours 45 minutes left, and my opponent did make an attempt on my Ray, probably with his own Jedi, but couldn't clear it. So it's left preloaded right now, and it doesn't have his own Jedi, which means that it probably will have a tough time clearing the CLS as well as the Grievous. So that may mean that my opponent has probably run out of steam or probably not planning to attack anymore. So let's go ahead and clear some of these other teams out here, and then we'll tackle the Ray towards the end. The Geos, I think I'm going to go in with my Padme squad. Undersized, I probably don't need a fifth, and I don't have C-3PO since I kept him on defense with Chupio. This should be more than enough for the Geos, and Padme is really not needed for countering Rey or even in the cleanup for Rey. So I think this should be fine. All right, let's give some protection up and keep going after these guys. Right, let's do this. Dispel. And let's try to get Brood Alpha down as soon as we can. We might need to rely on Anakin's AoEs to get most of the damage done, so this might take a little while. With all the assists, there really is no danger of my squads dying, and the spy is not G13 or G13 as well, so there's not much of a reason to worry. Okay, let's see if we can't take down Spy. There we go. Sunfac is taunting, so we'll take care of him next. Yeah, let's just keep working on this guy. Okay, let's try to get rid of Brood Alpha. It'll take a little while. All right, 5 stacks. Let's do this. Build up some more. He had 18 stacks, but that was not enough to get rid of Brood Alpha. I need buff immunity to land on... maybe I can... Yeah, let me just try this first. Let's do that. And mass assist on him, and that's it. Now it's game over. So interesting thing about Ahsoka's basic, it says that it's unevadable. But it says that it hits through foresight, but it actually is evadable because just now on Poggle she did a basic and she ended up missing him, which is interesting to see. So she goes through foresight, but she can still be evaded, which is really funny. Okay. How many banners did we end with? Probably 56 maybe, or 57. Always takes a while. There we go. 58 banners. Okay. All right. Now against the Mon Mothma team, given that it's all rebels, I'll probably take my EP in there. With Empire. Probably won't need Scion and Nihilus anywhere else. Yeah, I can probably take these guys in. Should be enough. Okay, let's get some pain on the board. And let's start working on them one by one. Okay, get some target lock. Excellent. Now some stuns, debuffs, and reduce turn meter. Excellent. Now let's so Biggs is going to get plenty of turn meter every time he's attacked by Empire. That's an interesting unique to have. But yeah, that should be fine. This team is no problem. Let's get rid of Wedge. Keep working on him. Let's apply a shock over here. All right, let's land some more stuns. And we should be ready with an Annihilate soon. Let's dispel. Okay, there goes Biggs. Sorry, not Biggs, that was Baze. And now we're just focusing on, yeah, let's just get rid of Biggs because every time I attack him with Empire, he gets turn meter. 56 banners. Not the best banners, but I don't think banners are going to be a problem in this particular match. So the back zone, the bottom zone is clear. Let's figure out what we want to do over here. Against the first order, I think I might go for a mirror and just play the control game. Yeah, let me use this. All right, so let's start with, oh, he doesn't have the second unique Zeta on Kylo, which is interesting. Let's stun this guy. And why is he getting a turn first? I thought Hux is going to get a turn, but apparently not. Let's just do a basic over here. And let's call everyone to assist on this guy. All right, there we go. Now there's no first order stormtrooper. Now let's take care of Hux so that the turn meter generation won't be a problem. And now let's start taking the other guys out one by one. There we go. Let's give this to him so that he stuns him for a couple of turns. And let's get rid of the other Kylo. Alright, simple enough. Clean up. I think we should end with 60. Okay, 59. Now we just have one team left, the Rey. And against this team, we have, because of the fact that my opponent had relatively weaker teams down south and allowed me to see the whole board, I was able to save a ton on offense for Rey. So I have my Vader squad, which is going to be my first squad. I've got my Luke squad. I have 501st Gas. I've got JKR. I've got JTR, which is also great for a Rey cleanup. So I've got tons of team over here to throw against Rey. I'll probably give it a little bit of a break, maybe an hour, 2 hours, see if my opponent goes again. If not, then I'll throw whatever I have at Rey and try to get her down. I'm hoping for a one shot, but it might need to be a multiple shot. Let's see. All right, so let's go in and tackle the Rey. So a couple of things to keep in mind with this Rey. So this is a double tank version with the heroes. There's JTR, who's a tank, and then there's Holdo, who's a tank. Now Holdo has got the Zeta. That means she's going to end up taunting anytime an enemy or an ally loses foresight, and JTR is probably going to start with foresight. So the moment that that my Vader does the force crush, Holdo is going to start tanking, taunting, which means I need to bring in Treya. But I only have one dispeller, Treya. So I need to take care of JTR before she taunts. And the only way that she's going to be able to get the taunt is when Finn does the special, the rally, which gives all the tanks in the team taunt. So I need to get rid of Finn before he moves, so that we can avoid the JTR taunting, and then we'll be able to fracture Rey cleanly. So that means we need to take Finn down with the very first crush that Vader has, or rather the culling blade that Vader has, and it'll help if Finn does not have lifeblood, and I think he is probably not going to, because if I see the total health and protection of Finn, he's at close to 100k, and Poe over here is yeah, it's probably a little bit more than that, 63 plus 39. So there's a high chance that I think 65 plus 34. Yeah, there's a high chance that Finn is going to get the lifeblood, which means the damage on him will be reduced. So I don't know if Vader counter is going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to try to see if we can land some debuffs on Finn, who has been modded for tenacity, 100% tenacity. So it's going to be difficult landing debuffs on him. But if you can take him out with Vader, then I think this counter will work. Otherwise, we'll probably have to see what we can do. Alright, so let's take this team in. I've got Piet in there, first time in Grand Arena that I'm using Piet with Vader. But he helps with the extra potency for Vader as well as the extra offense. And then I've got the rest of the usual suspects in there. So let's take this in and see if it works. So let's play this carefully. First thing we want to do is give the weapons tech to Vader. Alright, so now JTR has got the foresight. So when I do the force crush, she's going to Holdo is going to end up taunting. So I want to target Finn and do the special, because he's got a weapons tech on him, which means that Watt is going to use his basic and reduce some turn meter. Okay, a little bit of turn meter was reduced. Now the next fastest is probably going to be Resistance Hero Jedi Training Rey. So I'm going to do the force crush on her and then reduce her turn meter by a little bit. Okay, that's good. 5 debuffs, but he's got the lifeblood, so I don't know if it'll work. But let's build up some offense and keep going. Ability block everywhere. Ability block over here. Alright, now this is the moment of truth. If we're able to get Finn down, we'll probably win this match. Otherwise, we probably will not. Nope. So this is going to be problematic. Now, Holdo is taunting. Ooh, almost got rid of Piet. Let's give the taunting tech to Thrawn. Pass the turn meter over to Treya so that she isolates Holdo. We'll give this to Vader. And now let's fracture Rey. let's do this. He's going to go into damage immunity mode, but we need to land an ability block on him. Okay, that's good. Unfortunately, we lost Piet, but that's fine. Let's give this to Treya. We managed to avoid JTR taunting, which is good. Now let's go into Merciless again. Let's get rid of Finn. Excellent. Let's reduce the turn meter a little bit on. Well, actually, let's do this. Okay, land ability block over here. Ability block here. Excellent. And now we can probably finish Holdo as well. Excellent. And ability block over here as well. So far so good. Let's keep working down on Rey. Let's do this Force Crush over here. And let's clear the debuffs on Vader so that he doesn't get dazed. Alright, so we've got a little bit left. I think Thrawn might come out of Thrawn is probably going to come out of Fracture soon. But we'll have to, I think we might need to try to survive an ultimate from Rey. There we go. Okay, so we may not be able to, we just missed getting into Merciless. We may not be able to survive this, but I think we are, we should be able to clean it up with something else. Oh, there we go. Okay. So unfortunately this did not work out, but I think we can just go in with our with the rest of our Jedi and take care of this team. All right, okay, this would be an easy enough cleanup. So you have to play this counter carefully, but I think as long as it comes down to just Rey, it should be fine. Let's take in a Jedi. We'll take in Basti. We'll take in Hermit Yoda. Yeah, let's take in these guys, all of them. We don't really need to save anyone. I could probably even use just the 501st to take it out, but I like that extra mark on Rey. Okay, so she's gone into damage immunity mode, so we're going to wait for her to come out of damage immunity, and in the meantime let's take care of Jedi training Rey. Let's give this to him, and let's get rid of Rey. She's in damage immunity, that's fine. Let's just stun her. Just do a basic. We're waiting for Rey to come out of okay, there we go. Now let's do this. Hopefully we can get the mark on Rey before she goes into ultimate. Ooh, that was a bit of bad luck. And mark comes in only now. But luckily we had our Jedi Luke in there to get to deliver the damage in order to take her out. So yep, it was a cleanup, but at least it was effective, and you managed to get Rey down. That was the most important thing. Double shot, but we got through it. Let's see what ships we have. So we have the Finalizer and we have the Rebel Fleet. Alright, Rebel Fleet is without Biston, but it's got Wedge and Biggs. And we have the Finalizer, which is going to go extremely fast. So let's figure out what we want to take against these. Alright, I think I'm going to take in my Empire fleet against the Rebels, given that that's a hard counter, and Malevolence is a hard counter to Finalizer as well. So I think those might be the best options that we have. So let's go into the Rebel fleet, take our Empire, and I like to go with the Tarkin. Let's see what Rebel fleet we have. what Empire fleet we have. There we go. We are probably going to go in with our TIE Bomber, TIE Advanced, and TIE Fighter to hopefully land the initial burning, and then maybe we just take the rest of the Empire fleet in. Might be actually helpful to take an Ebon Hawk to dispel and target down MILF in case it comes to that. So let's just go in with this, and I think this should get the job done. Let's see. All right, so he does that, tons of damage, but we need to get foresight on him. So let's attack Wedge and start spreading target lock around. Now let's do this to apply some ability block. Excellent. What does this do? Dispel all buffs on all enemies and then deal physical damage and inflict burning. So this is the key. We need to get them burning on these guys as soon as possible. So now see, Han's Millennium Falcon does not have the that buff anymore, and we can target him down probably. We've got target lock on quite a few, and look at the damage that the Empire team is doing. It's amazing. And the damage that they're doing on my ship is almost negligible, which is again great to see. I think I can just get in the Ebon Hawk to take care of Millennium Falcon. There we go. Now it's an easy battle. So burning is a hard counter to rebels. They hit extremely hard, and they end up they can't resist it, they can't dispel it. It's great to see. 63 banners there. All right, and now let's take in Malevolence against Finalizer, which is a hard counter to that. Let's take in our Separatist squad. I'm going to take in these two and Sunfac, and probably don't need anyone else. Maybe I'll just get in Spy as a backup. That is the Spy. Yes, it is. Yep, I probably don't need anyone else. So the Finalizer doesn't have any cleanse, which is why all these buzz droids are will do a number on it. The Silencer is the main damage dealer. So we need to get the Silencer down as soon as we can. Let's dispel him. All right, let's get the Silencer down, spread some burning, and let's land a stun over here and take care of him right there. And this should do it. There we go. Pretty simple. I didn't even need a reinforcement. 67 banners. Look at that. That's why Malevolence is a hard counter to the Finalizer, and you can't use a Finalizer to go against Malevolence as well. There's just too much of anti-Finalizer synergy there. All right, so we ended with 2092. I think one missed battle over here against the Ray, but we managed to clear the board and one-shot the rest. So pretty good outcome. I don't know if my opponent is going to go. Probably not, given that he doesn't have anything to take out my Ray. But that's probably the end of the battle, and this is going to be the final score. So good warm-up match. Enjoyed it. Looking forward to more battles with ships. So join me in a couple of days when we meet our next opponent for the second round. All right. Until then, take care and happy gaming.